Prime Minister could be taken to court over the early release of the killers of PC Andrew Harper. That's coming as a warning from the Police Federation. PC Harper, as many of you will remember, died in 2019 when he was dragged by a car as 3 teenagers fled the scene of a Berkshire quad bike theft. 2 of his killers, Jesse Cole and Albert Bowers, are still eligible for his release. Aileen O'Connor is the chair of Thames Valley Police Federation who represented PC Harper. She joins us now. Aileen, morning to you.
Morning.
When the PM said a month ago, when he was going to review the early release scheme because of the outrage that these guys could be released early, did you think they would still end up being released early as they are proposed to be now?
So just under 2 weeks ago, when I heard about this news, I initially there was a decision made that they were going to pause the scheme. Then subsequently there was a decision made that he was going to review it in its entirety, particularly around the release of Andrew's killers. There was a slight glimmer of hope for me at that stage that they would make the right decision. Fast forward 2 weeks and we're back to square one, and it's worse now because what they're in effect they're saying is they will be subject to release, which sends a really horrendous message to my members and police officers up and down this country, quite honestly.
And tell us how you feel, Aileen. How do you feel when you think about these guys? They showed no contrition in court. They laughed. That this guy was killed in just an appalling fashion, Andrew Harper. Just dreadful. How do you feel when you think of the idea of them coming out early?
I feel sick to my stomach, if I'm really honest with you, and I've had a gut-wrenching feeling in my stomach for the past couple of weeks about this, and it doesn't go away. And arguably, I would say that many of my members across Thames Valley also have that gut-wrenching feeling at the prospect of these 2 killers being released in the space of weeks, potentially. And they pose a risk across Thames Valley, as far as I'm concerned, and a risk to my members.
Can you do anything to stop it? I suppose that's the question.
So that is the big question, and I'm working tirelessly. I set up a petition yesterday at 10 a.m. and now today I think we're up to about 140,000 signatures in that position. We're going to lobby MPs. I'm going to do anything I can to make sure that Mr Burnham and the Justice Secretary really think about the decisions that they make and the effect that it has, a ripple effect that it has on my members, policing up and down the country and the public of Thames Valley. I'm also exploring the possibility of a judicial review through the legal avenues, and I'll get an update later on that today. I will throw whatever I need to throw at this, and I will not stop until we get the right result here.
And do you think that's possible? Do you think in the end the pressure will be such? I mean, I think there's widespread outrage that these guys are being let out early, but will that actually translate? Because they have looked at this, they've looked at it with this outrage in mind, and they've said no.
I don't think they've looked at it, and they haven't gone as far as what I think they can go. I hope and pray that we get justice and they make the right decision. This is probably the highest profile case, if not one of the highest profile cases in a really short time since the PM's come in to power in the past couple of weeks. If I have a message for him, it would be all we ask of him as our Prime Minister is to keep us safe and to protect the protectors, because who else is going to protect us?
And you think these guys, these criminals are, as you said, if they're out early, that the threat is increased?
I do. I think what measures they're talking about putting stricter measures in place. So what does that look like? It looks like a tagging system. What happens when they breach the tag? They send the police round. We put them before the court. The court say slap on the wrist. You're not going back to jail because there's no cells. So it means nothing. It means absolutely, it's empty words, and it means nothing and it does nothing to give trust and confidence to my members or policing up and down the country that the government have our back.
And it shows you more broadly the problem with the system, doesn't it? That police have to function in where actually you don't have confidence in a probation system to enforce protection of everyone when people are released in whatever circumstances.
Yeah, there needs to be a serious overhaul of the whole justice system, the crisis within prisons, the justice system, probation service, policing, everything. And it needs serious investment. And for years and years and years, it's never had that. It needs serious investment to tackle all these problems. But for me, what is the sickening kick in the teeth for this and for this policy is that the government think it's acceptable, and I support them wholeheartedly around keeping rapists, child rapists, paedophiles, etc. behind bars. What I don't accept in the next breath is that they think it's acceptable to release 2 individuals early from a sentence who have killed a 7th police officer in the execution of his duty, and that's unacceptable.
Do you accept there has to be a line somewhere there? I mean, the point you're making is many will agree with, but ultimately they were convicted of manslaughter. Manslaughter is a lesser crime morally, and I suspect legally, really, to murder and to serious child abuse. And so that's just an inevitability. They weren't convicted of murder, they were convicted of manslaughter.
No, they weren't. You're right. They weren't convicted of murder. They were convicted of manslaughter. You tell Lizzie Harper, Andrew's family, Andrew's friends, colleagues, etc., that that's a lesser crime than what than all those other heinous crimes. Because in their eyes, and in my eyes, they are the only individuals that are serving any form of life sentence, not having Andrew here in their lives to get on with his life. They didn't have a choice that night. Those individuals who killed Andrew Harper had a choice. They went out on a crime spree that night, and due to their actions, his life was lost in the execution of his duty. And they killed that individual. And that, to me, is the highest crime that they could have done.
Have you spoken to Burnham or to Norris, the new Justice Secretary?
No, I haven't spoken to them personally. No.
Would you welcome the chance? Because I know he did call, the Justice Secretary did call the family of Andrew Harper. Would you want to have a chat with him and say, look, he must respect what you do for a living. You must have you've got more than skin in this game. You've got expertise as well. Should he not be speaking to you, do you think?
I would open any conversations with anybody that can overturn this decision, and listen to how strong the feeling is up and down the country from the public, from police officers, over 140 police officers up and down this country, and from the wider perspective. I'll welcome any conversations and meetings. I won't stop, as I've said repeatedly in the past 24 hours, until somebody takes note and listens to what we have to say, because we need protection as police officers, and it's not there. There's no deterrent in my eye.
Aileen, we'll see what happens. We wish you the best in this. We'll see whether you get any movement from it. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us, though.
Thank you very much.
That's Aileen O'Connor there, the chair of Thames Valley Police Federation.